This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1979-82 Fall League, American League Divisional Series. Tonight we got the number 4 seed New York Yankees against the number 1 seed Burlington Expos in the American League. Let's take a look at the standings. Let's start their way and see how we got here. Yankees did win the East, barely nipping Baltimore. They faced the Orioles the last 5 days of the season, beat them 4 out of 5 to sneak past. Orioles ended up with a play-in game, got in as a wild card, lost to Milwaukee. They're done. Yankees still around. They played in the divisional round versus Cleveland, beat them. So that's why all division winners advanced. The Brewers lost to the Angels, and the Yankees play the Expos. Now, if you're wondering about these Yankees, they have done nothing with the World Series criteria from, 76, 77, 78. They have not sniffed a World Series in this fall league. And matter of fact, Boston has won a World Series, the 76 through 79 one. Baltimore followed them up. And then last year, the Dodgers beat the Angels in the World Series. So time's running out. Doomsday clock is approaching midnight. If they don't get anything out of this Yankee World Series window, it's just gonna get ugly in the early 80s for them. They still have the 1980 players, which won 103 games. The 81 team that went to a World Series before falling down in 82. And of course, we have the story of the Expos. In their heyday, from 79 to 82. Matter of fact, probably the best 4 years in their history, won-loss record. We know in 81, the year of the strike, they went in the playoffs, losing on Blue Monday, when Rick Monday hit an extra-inning homer to knock them out that year. A lot has changed. Now, so here's the full story. We can do this here. So because of our league realignment, we have 32 teams, up from 30. We have expansion teams in Las Vegas and Portland. We contracted the Tampa team and we put a team in Ohio in their place. The Expos had no room in the National League East anymore, playing in Montreal. And the American League needed a team, so we moved the Expos to the American League. They had no room in the American League East, so there was the division, this one, the American League North. This is where Cleveland left the American League East and found comfort in not having to face the Orioles, Red Sox, or Yankees every year. Same with the Detroit Tigers. And the expansion Ohio players playing out of Dayton, Ohio. That's where the musical group came from. So the Expos moved over from the National League East to the American League. And lastly, because Montreal did relocate to Washington, we moved them just down across the border to Lake Champlain, to Burlington. And yeah, I mean, it's reasonably close, regional. So there you go. That's what we did. As a matter of fact, to confirm that, in the old Expo logo here, we changed this color that was normally blue. We made it green to reflect the Green Mountain state of Vermont. So that's the story of how the Expos got relocated and where they got relocated. But I'm sure they still have a huge Canadian presence way up there at Lake Champlain. So it's Yankees, Expos. Divisional round. Let's look at the matchups. Ron Guidry pitched in the wild card game 2 days ago. So it'll be Tommy John, Louis Liao, Ben Guidry, Bill Caldwell, and then John again in a game 5. The Expos are just going to march their rotation down. Steve Rogers, Bill Gullickson, Rudy May, and Scott Sanderson, with Steve Rogers again in Game 5. So here we are in Game 1. We'll show you Game 1 and then the next moments of a potential clincher. Again, the pitching matchups for the Yankees: Tommy John, 1979, first year with the Yankees, 21-9, 297 ERA, 276 innings after leaving Los Angeles. Amazing that Yankees and Dodgers played in the World Series, and then John goes to the Yankees and wins 20 games. That's probably highly unlikely the modern day. The Expos counter with Steve Rogers, 1980. He was 16-11 with a 298 ERA and 281 innings. And this ticket's hard to come by, folks. Everybody hates the Yankees, so all these folks in Vermont and the folks coming down from Montreal, basically the traffic from Montreal going south of Lake Champlain wasn't that big a deal. It was the people from New York, driving up across the Green Mountain State, causing a huge traffic jam. But this thing sold out. Small little ballpark. Let's get started. Yankees, Expos from Lake Champlain. Leading off for the Yankees, it'll be Bill North. 2-3. Bounce to short. Willie Wilson, 66, is a base hit. He's taken off. Carter's got a -3 arm, and he's out stealing. The Yankees may have met their match as far as this is not a good matchup for the Yankees with Gary Carter, -3 arm catcher. If you want to run with those North of Wilson, it's just not going to work out. Dave Rader, 6'11", pitcher X, E16. He makes the play. Bottom half of 1. It's Tim, Purple Rains, 1-4. Short. Rich Murray. This is Eddie Murray's younger brother. 1-9's a K. And Andre Dawson, 2-9, bounces to second. Top of 2, it's Reggie, 59, as a walk. Larry Milbourne, 48, short X. Shortstop is Mick Kelleher, who is a 3E23 at short. And that is going to be an error. The Yankees have a couple guys on here in the second for Jim Spencer. 68, pops to second. Greg Nettles, 6'10", center X. This is Andre Dawson, who's a 1 in center field. And with 2 outs, Jay Johnstone, 54. 54 off the Steve Rogers card is Homer, 1-10. Double the rest. It's going to be double the rest. That'll score 1. Milbourne will be sent. 16, 17, 18 against the -2 arm, and he scores. So Jay Johnstone converts with 2 outs. If you're seeing these unusual names in New York, it's because they're the Yankees. They just go and sign people away, and you never know who's going to show up. You get the 326 bat of Wilson, the 328 bat of Dave Rader, the 307 bat here of Jay Johnstone, and yeah, that's what the Yankees do. They don't stick with their farm system, I guess, at least in this era. Bucky Dent. 1-4, let's take a look at Bucky. Bucky Dent's 1980 card, 262. I think that's the high water mark in Yankee Stadium for the Yankees in 1980. Never was a 1 shortstop, by the way. He was just often a 2 shortstop and 262 hitter. 1-4 here is a clean double to right field, and it is now 3-zip. Back up top to Bill North. 1-7's a K. 3-0 visitors. Bottom of 2. Al Oliver, the 1982 batting champ from the Expos. 1-8, double 1-9's a 2-base hit. Larry Parrish, 1-7's a K. Gary Carter, 1-10, bounce to short. And with 2 outs, it's Warren Cromartie. 2-10, bounces back to the mound. We go to the third. It's Willie Wilson, 1-3, short. Dave Rader, 49, second. And Reggie, 1-6, is a K. Bottom of the third. Dan Norman, 2-9. Triple, 1-18 double. That's a triple for Dan Norman, former member of the New York Mets. Mick Kelleher, A bunter, infield has to come up. The pitch to Mick Kelleher. 68 off Tommy John is single, 1-19, and he converts. And the Expos are on the board. 3-1. Kelleher at first. Back up top to Tim Purple Reigns. 2-7 is a base hit to right field. Really want to go to third if you can, Kelleher. 12 runner. 0 arm. Kind of think you got to go because Reigns is a AAA stealer. He's going to try and go coast to coast with nobody out. And he's thrown out on a 19. And that would have been a little bit too greedy for the Expos, who were down 2 runs in this. Well, that's all right. Tim Raines will steal second. It's almost automatic here. As a AAA stealer against a +2 arm. He steals second with 1 out. Really tempted to steal third to get a runner on third with less than 2 outs. And this is the scenario I love, the AAA +2 arm catcher. We're going to steal third. He's in there on a 10. You wonder what the math is on that? I made a little chart for this thing. There it is. It's 11. It's a very good chance. It's an 11 chance, and you got a +2 arm catcher, so it's actually a real high chance of stealing third, which he just did. So, gonna update that to show that he's now on third base with 1 out, and the batter's Rich Murray. 1-6. Let's take a look at Rich Murray. Didn't matter what base you're on, because Rich Murray is just jacked this one into Lake Champlain. My goodness. Rich Murray was a San Francisco Giant in 1980. Stats are terrible. 216, 4 homers. But it's all against lefties in a small sample size, and that's all the Expos really want him to do, is just play against lefties. Al Oliver plays first base against righties, and he DHs against lefties. And Rich Murray ties the game with a 2-run homer. If it's Eddie, Eat, Drink, and Be Murray, it has to be Rich, Eat, Drink, and Be Murray, I suppose. Or he's Murray now, anyway. 3-3 with 1 out, bottom of the third. 4 guys have reached. 1 guy got thrown out on the bases. And it's Andre Dawson. 57, this guy's all right. And with 2 outs, Al Oliver. 68's a base hit. And you got Larry Parrish. 212, short A+, not holding the runner. 3-3 game. Into the 4th. It's Larry Milbourne. 43, first X. This is Rich Murray. He is a 2E22 at first base, and he makes the play. Jim Spencer. 211, bounce to second. And with 2 outs, it's Greg Ninnels. 1/8's a walk. Jay Johnstone, 58, another walk. 2 on, 2 outs, and Bucky Dent had the big double last time up. 48 is a bouncer to short. Kelleher, a 3E23, 3E23 shortstop. We have him set up here nicely with a parenthesis. Parenthesis in result indicates a E rating was rolled, and that is exactly the matching E rating for Kelleher to get the out. So, bottom of the 4th, 3-3 game. It'll be Gary Carter. 39, single 1 at 2 line out. Actually, Carter hits righties a little bit better than lefties. Warren Cromartie, 1/8 is triple 1-7 double. That's 2 base hit. Dan Norman, who tripled to start the 3rd inning. 65 off John is a line out, and with 2 outs, Mick Kelleher. 39 for the Mixter is a base hit to center field. Cromartie's going to attempt to score here. 14. 15-16 against the Wilson arm. He scores on the 8. And the Expos take a 4-3 lead. Back up top to Tim Purple Reigns. 2-5. Double 1-5 is a 2-base hit. You have runners at second and third with 2 outs. Tommy John's getting knocked around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. And last inning and 2/3. Can't knock him out with a point of weakness, but can come darn close. Second and third, 2 outs in a 4-3 game, and it's only Rich Murray who homered last time. 42, bouncer back to the mound. 4-3 into the 5th. It's Bill North. 2-9, bounce to third. Willie Wilson, 2-3, pops to short. And with 2 outs, it's Dave Rader. 57 is a K. Expos have a 4-3 lead, bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay. It's Dondre Awesome leading off. 46 off John's a walk. Andre's a double-A stealer. He's taking off for second. He's in there. What is the T rating for Raider? He's an E12. Oh, excuse me, T rating. He's a T1 of 4. Good T rating. So Dawson steals second and holds there. Al Oliver, 32, pops out. Larry Parrish, 42, grounds back to the mound. And with 2 outs, Gary Carter. 2-5, grounds the third. Expos are stranding base runners. Just a 1-run lead. Into the 6th, it's Reggie. 3-10, flies to right. Larry Milbourne. 2-9, bouncer to first. And Jim Spencer, 5'11", second X, second baseman today. Now Tim Raines is playing second today. Normally he plays the outfield. He's a 4 They do have Doug Flynn, but he's on the bench. 4 E26, and he cannot make a play on that ball. It's a base hit. Eventually, before he leaves Montreal, or Lake Champlain, Burlington, he'll become a very good outfielder. Presently, he is not. So Spencer's at first with 2 outs. It'll be Greg Nettles. 59, another walk. And the Yankees have been doing this, putting guys on with 2 outs. There, and again. And it's Jay Johnston who had a big 2-run double the first time up. 67 off of the Rogers card is single 1-11. Line out the rest, and he rolls a 12. Rogers gets a break there. He just misses the single. That's a line out. Neither pitcher particularly sharp today, but the score is relatively low for all the men they've put on base. Bottom of the 6th, 4-3. Tommy John will continue. It'll be Warren Cromartie. 2-4 short. Dan Norman. 3-6 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Kelleher. 2-8 for Kelleher's liner into second. Before they go back out for the 7th inning, the Expos are actually going to put Doug Flynn in at second base, and Raines will go into left field. Norman will leave the game. Going to go with defense after seeing that near disaster mistake in the top of the 6th inning. That's all the defense the Expos have to help Mr. Rogers. To help old Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in the 7th. Here we go. Bucky Dent, 1 for 2 with a double, leads off. 39, grounds to short. William North, 57 is a K, and with 2 outs. Willie Wilson, 1-5, bouncer to second base. So, not a lot of scoring in the last few frames, and John and Rogers are going to continue. 4-3 game, stretch time here. We have been enjoying this LP top drawer, not very rare psychedelic record from 1972 called Solid Oak, featuring Song of the Sinner. Pretty trippy kind of stuff here. Solid Oak by Top Drawer we're enjoying. Okay, back to the game. In the bottom of the 7th, Tommy John. Typical Tommy John game, putting a bunch of guys on, minimizing the damage. 4-3, top of the 7th. Great Yankee bullpen. I'm not sure how, in this lineup, well, frankly, yeah. Raines is better against righties, so John will pitch to him. 58's a liner to first. Now you got Murray, Dawson, Oliver, Parrish, Carter. I think they're going to hook old Tommy here. This team's a little bit more aggressive in the playoffs, wanting to make moves, and they have a fantastic bullpen. You have Gossage, you have Righetti, you have Dick Tidrow, Terry Leach, and right-handed heavy lineup for the Expos, as per norm. They're going to go Dick Tidrow. Tidrow, in 79, actually had moved to the Cubs from the Yankees. 11-5, a 2.71 ERA in 103 innings. Dick Tidrow comes on in the 7th to face the right-hander, beginning with Rich Murray. Murray normally would be taken out of this game, because of his .216 batting average, but he's a defensive replacement at first, so he'll swing away here. 2-11, grounds to second. And with 2 outs, it's Andre Dawson. 5-11, second X. This is Milborn's a 3E27 at second base, and he makes the play. Tight one, very tight here in the 7th, 8th, 9th. We talked about the Yankee bullpen. The Expos have an experienced bullpen. They have Elias Sosa, Sparky Lyle, Unique Romo, and Dave Hamilton. 2 lefties, 2 righties. Plenty of postseason experience in that lot. So they're not feeling too shabby about things. They're not as good as Gossage and Righetti, but still pretty good. We go to the 8th, and it's Steve Rogers, who's a starter 8. The temptation would be, you got lefty, lefty, switch, lefty, 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 to bring in a lefty. But you also have Steve Rogers, is basically the king of the Expos, Mr. Expo. And so we might want to ride with him. At least, now obviously Spencer and Nettles aren't very good against lefties, but the other 2 guys don't really matter. So he will continue. Dave Rader leads off in the 8th. 65 for Dave Rader is a sky to center field. Now you have Reggie Jackson, possibly the final batter for Rogers. 54, final batter for Rogers. Homer, 1-10, double the rest. And it is gone on a 2. So the last batter we had Rogers facing to bring in a lefty. Well, he didn't do it soon enough. And that ties the game. Oh my. 4-4. And I think here, in a juicy moment, Rogers will leave after 7 1/3. So no decisions for him and for John at this point. And the the Expos are going to send, are you ready, folks? Sparky Lyle out there versus the Yankees. That would have been something that happened in the early part of Lyle's career when he was with Boston, before he went to the Yankees. Then he went to the Rangers. 79 for the Rangers, 5-8 with a 3.13 ERA in 95 innings. Seemingly discarded once they got Goose Gossage. So in a juicy moment of retribution here, Sparky Lyle's going to come on in this thing and try and slam this door, keep it a tie game. We'll face Larry Milborn and then a trio of lefties after that. Larry Milborn. 2-5, bounce to third, and with 2 outs, it's Jim Spencer. 1-7 is a bouncer to third base. A 4-4 game, bottom of the 8th. Dick Tidrow's a relief 3. Got lefty, righty, righty, lefty. And we'll just roll with Tidrow here for a little bit. Al Oliver will lead it off. 1-5, Al Oliver off his card. Let's take a look at Al Oliver's card of 82, batting champ. But I forgot to mention, 22 homers. And Al Oliver really wasn't a big power hitter in his Pittsburgh and Texas tenures. Rarely got up to 20 home runs, but 22 of them in 1982 for the Expos. He was their recent off-season acquisition. And that is gone, and we're back to a 5-4 lead. So, Oliver matches Reggie. Now you got Larry Parrish. 58's a K. Gary Carter, 35. Triple 108, base hit. No, it's a triple. On a 7 for Gary Carter. You got a runner at third and 1 out. And that'll do it for Tidrow. And now the Yankees. 7 1/3, yep. They're going to go Righetti. Dave Righetti's going to come in here. Righetti in 81, 8-4, the 2.06 ERA in 105 innings, was a starter, eventually moved into the Yankee bullpen. We put him there now because they still have John and Guidry, and you need to have a lefty, 3 lefties max, and 1 needs to be in the pen, so that's why they have Righetti there. Runner at third, 1 out. They're going to bring the infield up, and the Expos have Warren Cromartie, and then Doug Flynn doesn't hit lefties very well. Trying to keep it a 1-run game. Here's the pitch to Warren Cromartie. 2-9 with the infield up as a grounder to second. And with 2 outs, it's Doug Flynn. 511 off Rigetti is second X. This is Milbourne. He's a 327 and he makes the play. So far, losing Willie Randolph in the expansion and moving Larry Milbourne to second base has not hurt the Yankees too much, other than the fact that they haven't gone to a World Series, which I mentioned earlier in this video. We'll go to the ninth. It's a 5-4 game. Sparky Lyle, pitcher of record. He's got Nettles and a pinch hitter. Yeah, Nettles and a pinch hitter, and then they'll probably go to Sosa. So Greg Nettles will lead off in the ninth of a 5-4 game. No defense to bring in against Sparky Lyle. 2 7's a K. Now you got Jay Johnstone, who doesn't hit lefties very well. So batting for Jay Johnstone, it'll be Lou Piniella. Let's take a look at Lou. He had a big home run in the wild card victory against Cleveland, coming off the bench when Jay Johnstone got hurt. He had a 3-run homer off the bench. In '82, just like Johnstone, he hit .307. Both guys did. 6 homers and 261 at-bats. Lou Piniella trying to get on base. Sparky Lyle and sure. Yeah, let's take Sparky out. He got an inning of work. We'll go to Sosa now. Sosa in the ninth. He was a Expo, of course, in '79. 8-7 with a 1.95 ERA and 97 innings. Needs to record 2 outs for the Expos to get their first ever divisional series victory under their belt. So it'll be Lou Piniella with 1 out in the ninth inning of a 5-4 game. Here's the pitch. 4-4. Well, they brought him in because he doesn't have any homers on his card. He smacked that one, though. That's a double. That's the worst thing you can do against Sosa is a double. So we have a runner at second in a 5-4 game. And we got number 9 hitter, Bucky Dent, if you're wondering. They have Rob Andrews on the bench, who was a sideways move. They do have Thurman Munson on the bench. I could see him taking some swings here. I think we're going to do that. We're going to put Thurman Munson is going to pinch hit for Bucky Dent here in the ninth inning because it's playoff time and these games are critical. Thurman Munson in '79, his tragic year, but he was doing very well. 288 hitter through that first half of the season. The Yankee captain trying to put a positive spin on that tragedy. Here in the ninth inning, runner at second, 1 out. And here's a pitch to pinch hitter Thurman Munson. 48 off Sosa is second X, but we've got a almost Gold Glove winner, Doug Flynn's a 1E8 second baseman. Wow. Really went overboard on that defense there, Strat, but he makes the play. The runner does go to third, though, on a ground ball to second. So, I got to get a shortstop. Well, Andrews will have to come in and play shortstop for somebody. Or Milbourne goes to short, Andrews goes to second base for Raider. But anyway, we go back up top. We have a runner at third and 2 outs. It's Bill North, Willie Wilson, both switch hitters. North doesn't have a lot of hits on his card. Let's take a look at Bill North. Another guy they stole from the Giants this time. 1979, a 259 hitter, but 96 walks. Tremendous amount of power versus left-handed pitchers with homer on an 8 and a 1-4 on 9. But against righties, just mostly walks to get on base as a double-A stealer. That's not going to help here. He will swing away. Here's the pitch to Bill North with a runner at third, 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning. 35 is ball. No, it's not. 35, what are we talking about here? 35 single 1 to 19. It's a base hit. Oh my goodness, and the Yankees have tied the game. So you have a Piniella double off Sosa's card. Munson ground ball moves him up. And a single, the only single chance, the second single chance, off the Bill North card. And we're tied 5 again. My goodness, folks. Game 1 classic. And you know Bill North, I know we can still steal bases. And he's going to steal a base against Gary Carter, or attempt to. And it's going to be a 12. This is very close. It's -3 and -3. He's going to be out by a whisker. Yes, he is a -3 arm catcher. We're going to make it -3 to hold him at 11. Out on a 12. So North is gunned down. He can't believe it. He thought his hand got in under the glove. It was a bang-bang play, as I like to say. Home cooking. And he's caught out. Maybe they give the Expos a break on that. I don't know. But anyway, he's thrown out. It stays 5-5 in the 9th inning. Both benches are, well, let's see. Andrews will play second base. Milborn will go from second to short, and Thurman Munson's catching. The Yankee bench is tapped. That's everybody. On the Expo bench, you still have Steve Braun and Brian Little, but you have Rigetti out there. And Rigetti's going to continue. He's a relief 3. So it's bottom of the 9th inning of a 5-5 game. It'll be Mick Kelleher leading off. 67. That's a walk for Kelleher. And now back up top to Tim Purple Raines. 410, center X, but you got Wilson. He's a 1-6 in center field. And that's caught. Now you got Rich Murray, and you really should think of, he's so bad against righties. It's 5-5. You could think of conserving Rigetti here, as he has also gone in anything. Let's do that. So they're going to pull Rigetti with Rich Murray, who can't hit righties for anything. And it's your choice of Gossage or Terry Leach at this point. In a tie game, I would go with Leach and just bring in Gossage if you get the lead in extras. So that's what they're going to do. Terry Leach is going to come in. Again, this is a very talented Yankee bullpen. Leach will pitch as long as the Yankees are in this game. And then they'll bring in Gossage for a potential save. So we're in the 9th inning. Terry Leach comes in with a runner at first. They didn't even attempt to bunt Raines in that situation. Terry Leach will face Rich Murray. You could pinch hit for him, realizing that defense doesn't matter too much later in these things. You can get a better hitter in there, but the better hitters are Brian Little and Stevie Ray Braun. Though a walk would put, Well, we know one thing about the Yankees. No more lefties in this thing, so they actually are going to go with a pinch hitter. Yeah, they are. They're going to actually have a pinch hitter here. They're going to go Brian Little. It's going to pinch hit. And he'll just be the designated hitter. Al Oliver will move to first base. By the way, if you're wondering about the DH rule, it's a free substitution in the carryover league because we have such small rosters, and it's easy to account for that way. So it won't be Rich Murray that Terry Leach will face. Let's show you Brian Little. He only hit .214. But it was opportunistic against righties. Theoretically, Little and Murray could platoon with each other as .216 and .214 hitters and probably hit .260, .270 in a platoon if you played it right. So it'll be Brian Little, the pinch hitter, with Kelleher at first and 1 out. Here's the pitch to Brian Little. 2-7 is single, 1-16, but he lines out on an 18. That's a tough break. They got the better hitter in there, and he just missed out. That's a shame for the Expos. That's a liner to second. And with 2 outs, it's Andre Dawson. And Munson's got a -2 arms. You're not going to steal a base with Kelleher. Here's the pitch to Dawson. 69 is a walk. Now you got a guy in scoring position, and it's Al Oliver, who homered last time up. He's got a homer, a double, and a single. So there are 2 on, 2 outs. Terry Leach, who's very good against lefties, against Al Oliver. 47 is a liner to second base. We got extra innings. A classic. Game 1 between the Yankees and the Expos. Sosa's a relief 3 closer. And I think you just have to leave him in there and max him out. Because, you're You're a very young and experienced Expo team against these big bad New York Yankees. So you have to go out guns blazing with your closer, Sosa, for 3 innings. So North had the big hit, and then he got thrown out stealing to end the inning after tying it up. So Willie Wilson will actually carry over. He was in the batter's box there, but he'll be leading off in the top of the 10th inning against Sosa. Here's the pitch to Wilson. 48's a walk. Double-A stealer. Do you try it again? Maybe not. Maybe not. Or, even better, Rob Andrews has a ticket to a hit and run here. He's a good hit and run player. Rob Andrews is going to hit and run. And it works to perfection. A 5. That's a hit and run single. Shot through the hole there, and the Yankees have it going on in the 10th. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Sosa can't hit a point of weakness. He's a relief 3. And oh boy, you got Reggie, Milbourne, and Spencer. They do have Dave Hamilton as a lefty, but he's not particularly good against lefties. I'm just going to go with Sosa. He's their guy. Got to bring the infield up. Maybe make this just a 1-run game, maybe. We'll see what happens. They're going to bring it up. It'll be Reggie Jackson, runners on the corners. No speed for Andrews, but they're bringing it up. Here's the pitch to Reggie. 5'11", second X. This is Doug Flynn, a 1/8 second baseman. Infield up. So the runner from first goes to second. Now you have second and third with 1 out. Still up for Larry Milbourne. 6'10", third X. This is Larry Parrish. Very good. He's a 2E25 third baseman at home. 2. Matt will hold the runners up with the infield up. So Larry Milbourne gets a glove on it, and the runners stay put. Nobody's thrown out the plate. So it's second and third with 2 outs. And it's the dangerous Jim Spencer with a base open, followed by another lefty in Nettles. Again, I keep saying, I'll say it again, Dave Hamilton's just not very good against lefties. Spencer's not good against lefties either. I'll show you Jim Spencer's card. The 3-run homer in the ball, if this thing's over. If you give up just 1 run, you can tie this thing up. But Jim Spencer, plus Sosa's got a triple in 7. I think you just got to get a lefty in there, even if it's a bad one. Just to take it off of the Spencer card. They're going to do it. They're going to pull Sosa in this situation because of the dangerous Jim Spencer. If Nettles doesn't walk so much, you could walk Spencer, but then you got the bases loaded, you can walk and a run. So they're going to pull Sosa with 2 outs here. That's inning and a third. 9 2/3 in. And it'll be Dave Hamilton in the 10th. Let's take a look at Hamilton here. Versatile bullpen, I'll give him that. Dave Hamilton was 3-4 with Oakland and a 3.69 ERA at 83 innings. Plus they got Enrique Romo, who's also a relief 3. And Hamilton's a relief 3.5. So they got plenty of innings at least out of this deep bullpen. But you got to get Jim Spencer out here. Yankees can't pitch hit for Spencer, who's not very good against lefties at all. So we're hoping the Yankees are rooting for the Hamilton card here. Here's the pitch to Jim Spencer. 1-7 is going to be a bounce out to third base. And the Yankees squander first and third and nobody out. And the Expos. Fans are going nuts here. It's still 5-5. And Terry Leach will continue. And all they have left is Gossage and their Game 4 starter, Bill Caudill. I guess the Expos would have Scott Sanderson, a Game 4 starter, available if this thing turns into a marathon. But anyway, bottom of the 10th of a 5-5 classic, Game 1. It'll be Larry Parrish for the Expos. 2-5, let's take a look at the Larry Parrish card of 1979. Arguably his best card ever. 30 homers and a 307 average for the Expos. 2-5 against a righty is gone. This place is going nuts as Larry Parrish and the Expos walk off the big bad New York Yankees 6-5 in 10 innings. Wow. What a box! 8. So he only got 2 batters out in the 9th. 6, 7, 8, 9. There it is, 79-10. So Dave Hamilton, he got Spencer out. He gets the win. And Terry Leach got 2 outs in the 9th, but serves off the homer. Terry Leach loses with a walk-off shot in the bottom of the 10th. Expos win game 1. We'll give you the results of the rest of the series and put you into a deciding game. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you soon. All right, folks, just an incredible series. Here's the box score of Game 1 you just saw. Larry Parrish with a walk-off homer for the Expos, a 6-5 win. Winning pitcher was Dave Hamilton, just getting that final out at the top of the inning. And, of course, Leach giving up the homer. Tommy John went 6 1/3, 9 hits and 4 runs. Steve Rogers, 7 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, just 1 was earned. So what happens in Game 2? Can the Yankees get a win in this thing? And in Game 2, it's Luis Leal for the Yankees, free agent signing away from Toronto. Bill Gullickson for the Expos. And what we're seeing in this series is that the great starting pitching of the Expos has not really lived up to it. Maybe because they're right-handed, the Yankees call those left-handers. I don't know. But in this one, after a walk, it's a Larry Milbourne triple, and he scores on an error. Bottom half of that inning, though, it's a 2-run homer by Warren Cromartie, 2-2. Then the Yankees, solo shot by Reggie, 3-2. And this series, folks, it ain't going to be very long before it's always a 1-run game all the time. So we go to the 6th inning. Back-to-back doubles by Jim Spencer and Nettles. It's 4-2. Bottom of the inning, it is Larry Parrish, hero of Game 1 with a homer. It is 4-3. It stays this way through the latter innings. And the other trend we're seeing is these teams are emptying their bullpens. Even though they got good starting pitching, they got a lot of matchups late. The starting pitching's been knocked around a little bit. Louis Leal, 5 1/3, 9 hits. Gullickson, 7 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. In any event, it stays 4-3 into the 9th inning when Rich Gossage finally rears his head to protect the 1-run lead to the 9th. He gets Tim Raines to fly out. He strikes out Dan Norman, and then with 2 outs and nobody on, Andre Dawson does a walk. The Yankees have brought Thurman Munson in to catch for Dave Rader. But Andre Dawson attempts a stolen base because Gossage has a 77-cent ERA and you're trying to get in a scoring position. He gets caught stealing to end the game. The dreaded caught stealing, end the game scenario. But when you think about it, Rich Gossage pitching, Andre Dawson on the bases, kind of made some sense. Yankees got the win. 4-3, back-to-back 1-run thrillers. Series tied, a game apiece. And it's only going to get better, folks. I'm telling you, this has just been an amazing matchup between these two teams. Game 3, Rudy May versus Ron Guidry. In this one, Tim Raines walks and scores on a double play, believe it or not. Bottom half of the inning, a double and an RBI single by Reggie, who else, 1-1. Stays that way until the 5th when Bill North, who doubled in the 1st, hits a homer off his own card. It's 2-1 Yankees. Then it gets a little kooky here. In the 7th inning, Kelleher reaches on an error. A single by Tim Raines, a sac fly, a Tim Raines stolen base. Then with 2 outs, Al Oliver with the 2-run homer, and it's 4-2 Expos. And it's looking like, the Expos are going to get this win, but in the bottom half of the 7th, it's Romo and Rudy May, future Yankee. Not very good. A double to Nettles. A homer by Bill North, his second of the game. Bill North against left-handed pitching. A double off his card. A homer off his card. Another homer off his card. 10 bases for Bill freaking North in a playoff game. Double Rob Andrews. Oh, and another Reggie Jackson 2-run homer. 6-4 game, bottom of the 8th. Jim Spencer, another home run. 7-4. And the Yankees have won the last 2 and lead this series now 2-1. Ron Guidry, the first pitcher to last until the 8th inning for either team. 8 1/3 innings. Gossage came in to get the last 2 outs and a save. Rudy May can only go 6 1/3. Another very mediocre start after the Rogers Gullickson. Yeah, 6 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs, and 2-1. So it brings us here today to a game 4. And in this one, we're late into this one, but we have a lot to talk about as we get late into this one. It is going to be Scott Sanderson versus Bill Caudill. Rested Yankee bullpen. Caudill's just a starter 5, but he's actually pitched very well. Raines put in the 2 spot today instead of the leadoff spot. Steve Braun, who draws a ton of walks in the leadoff spot because Bill Caudill walks a ton of guys. And so in the first inning, you get the walk to Braun, the fielder's choice to Raines, and the stolen base attempt, but Dave Rader throws him out, which is somewhat ridiculous, but he does. Then in the 4th inning, after an out, Tim Raines doubles, and he steals 3rd after a double to get to 3rd with 1 out, scores on a Dawson single. He also steals a base. So they're running like crazy, or at least attempting to. They're successful 2 out of 3 times thus far. But all they have to show for it is a run. And then the Yankees finally get on the board in the 6th inning. A Jim Spencer double, an error by Rich Murray at first, and a Willie Wilson double. It's 1-1. Top of the 7th, Al Oliver greets Bill Caudill, who's still in this game, with a solo shot. Bottom half of the inning, after a North triple, a Reggie single, and it's tied again, 2-2. Neither team can get far enough away from the other. Then the big play for the Expos happens in the 8th inning. Dick Tidrow is in there. After 2 outs, Andre Dawson on his card on a roll of 1-7. It's homer 1, double the rest. Well, of course, folks, homer 1, double the rest. He gets it, makes it 3-2. In the 9th inning, they add a Carter double, Cromartie single, and that's where we're at. It's a 4-2 lead for the Expos trying to even the series. Yankees could walk this off in the 9th, down 2. For the Expos, Sanderson went 6 1/3, Sparky Lyle went an inning and a third, and now it's up to Elias Sosa to go an inning and a third. So he comes on in the 9th, Elias Sosa. In the bottom of the 9th, for the Yankees, it'll be Bill North, Thurman Munson in for Dave Rader, Reggie Jackson. In the 9th of a 2-run game, we're going to hit the old F9 on this one and let the numbers spin. It'll be Bill North against Elias Sosa with a 2-run lead. Here's the pitch. 2-7 for North is a K. Now you got Thurman Munson. 32 for Munson's a pop to first. And with 2 outs, trying to get this thing back to Lake Champlain for a game 4 and give you the perfect scenario of each team winning at home and on the road in 4 games. But to do that, you got to get Reggie Jackson out. So Sosa takes the signs. The pitch to Reggie Jackson. 67 is a K, and the Expos 3 up and 3 down for the Yankees in the 9th. The Expos win 4-2 and even the series. Your winning pitcher is Scott Sanderson. Never relinquished the lead. Or actually, it was 2-2. And the Expos took the lead in the 8th. So I'm sorry, we have to give the win to Sparky Lyle. Sparky Lyle gets the win as he was on the mound in the tie game. He actually gave up the tie run. So he gets the run. So he gets the decision. Sosa gets the save. And the guy serving up that home run was Terry Leach. He served up the home run to Andre Dawson in that. So no decision for Bill Caudill. No decision for Scott Sanderson. So in Game 5, what a series. In Game 5, yeah, it will be a rematch of Steve Rogers, Tommy John. And we will have that next in a late game moment, so stay tuned. All right, baseball fans, here is your box score from Game 4. Scott Sanderson went 6 1/3, 7 hits. Only one of the 2 runs was earned, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Lyle gets the win, and Sosa gets the save in the 9th. And for the Yankees, it was Caudill 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs. Leach gets the loss, inning and 2/3, an inning for Tidrow. A 4-2 affair, a 4-2 finish. We're going to go back to Lake Champlain for a Game 5, folks. And these teams, again, we're right in the middle of another classic. Every game within a couple runs of each other. We'll show you what's happened here. Same Game 1 starters you already saw. Tommy John, Steve Rogers. In this one, in the 4th inning, you get a Dawson single. He steals second off a Raider. Al Oliver drives him in with a single. Larry Parrish doubles in the 3rd. After a ground out and a chance to get out of this inning with just 1 run, it's Warren Cromartie with a 2-out, 2-run single, and suddenly the Expos are up 3-0, thinking they're going to go to the League Championship Series. But not so fast. In the top of the 5th inning, Greg Nettles reaches on an error by Rich Murray, the defensive first baseman, not Al Oliver. Wilson singles. After a ground out, it's Jay Johnstone, much like Cromartie. Big 2-out, or in this case, it's just a 1-out, 2-run double. A single by North, and they strand the runner. And then another inning goes by, another runner. Each team strands another runner. So that's where we're at, folks. 6 innings in the books of a Game 5, and the teams are a run apart again. Expos 3-2 lead in the top of the 7th inning, and Steve Rogers will continue. Normally, in the ultimate games, we often see teams empty their bullpen. In this particular one, they're leaning on the starters for the first time in the whole series, really. John and Rogers are pitching the best that they've of any of these starters thus far in the series. So we'll see if that continues or we go quick hook. But Steve Rogers will continue in the 7th inning. You got the bottom half of the Yankee lineup, Wilson, Bucky Dent, and then back up top to Johnstone. And here's the pitch to Willie Wilson. 2-6 for Wilson is double 1-2. That's a base hit. The double-A stealer. We have seen the Yankees challenge Gary Carter. They stole a base here, and that's it. They haven't been caught or attempted another one. And when Wilson reaches, and he's done this for the 3rd straight time, Bucky Dent instantly hits and runs. The first time he popped out. The second time he advanced the runner. And you know Bucky Dent's going to do the same thing here. This is going to be a hit and run with Willie Wilson at first base. The hit and run, you have to steal on a 7. And you roll a 16 off of Gary Carter, and Willie Wilson gets thrown out stealing. So really bad results by Bucky Dent and the Yankees in the hit and run. A pop-out failure, a caught stealing failure, and they only advanced the runner once. So now Bucky Dent has to swing away with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch to Bucky. 3-10 grounds to 3rd. And with 2 outs, it's Jay Johnstone. 112 is a Lomax. Well, folks, here's another little nugget for you. Every time I pick up in a climactic game in the top of the 7th inning, the team goes bananas and bats around. We saw the Phillies do that. We saw the Angels do that. The Yankees do not. So maybe that we just broke that offensive spell here. As we go to the bottom of the 7th. Stretch time here. The Expos with a 3-2 lead in Lake Champlain. We've been enjoying the Champlain Valley songs of Pete Seeger. Music from the Lake Champlain region. There you go. You know, a little kind of dialing it in a little bit to the home team stylings there. You know, not a lot of airplay here. You know, kind of under the radar, small market. The Green Bay Packers of the Carryover League, you could call them. All right, bottom of the 7th inning. Tommy John and Steve Rogers in a classic. John will continue. He's a start. They're both starter eights. He'll face the bottom of the lineup, beginning with Cromartie, who had the big 2-run single earlier. Pitch to Cromartie. 37's a king. Dan Norman, 46, is a walk. C. Steeler. Kelleher, he's going to try hit and run. Since the opposing team screwed it up They're thinking they're going to be successful, and they're not. It's a fielder's choice. So Kelleher, do we have Munson in the game yet? No, we don't. We still have Rader in there. Let's try a stolen base then. And he steals second base, the C stealer, off the +2 arm catcher with 2 outs to get in the scoring position. And back up top, and I also forgot to mention, back up top, Tim Raines got injured in the 3rd inning and is out of the game. No Tim Raines the rest of the way. So in the leadoff spot is Doug Flynn. Raines and Flynn both played second base for the Expos, and Flynn will swing away. 35 is a liner to second base, so Tommy John gets out of that, base runner. We go to the 8th, 3-2 Expos. Steve Rogers with Sparky Lott. The whole bullpens for both teams are available after a day off. So Bill North will lead off in the 8th for the Yankees. 2-6 is a grounder to second. Dave Rader still in the game because they need his offense. They're trailing. Dave Rader, the pitch. 1-6. Let's take a look at the card finally. You can see why this guy is catching against the speedy Expos. Dave Rader. If you read the 1980 rules, it says don't use Dave Rader too much, as he's not really a .328 hitter, and it could alter the performance of that team he was on, the Red Sox. Well, the Yankees don't give a rip about that, and they pretty much bat him third all year. 1-6 is a clean double to left field for Dave Rader, a 9 base runner, and he will be summoned to the bench for a pinch runner. And believe it or not, Munson, yeah, you could just put Munson in there to pinch run for him. He's a 12. He'd be the tie run. So Thurman Munson is actually going to come in and run for Dave Rader. With a runner at second, 1 out. Steve Rogers, he gave up a homer 1-10, I think, to Reggie, or was the Spencer, one of those in game 1. But Rogers will continue. It's almost like you have to beat Steve Rogers here, as he's the lifeblood of the Expos. So here we are, Steve Rogers against Reggie Jackson with a runner at second, 1 out in the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch. 1-9 to Reggie. Is a sky to center. And with 2 outs, it is Larry Milbourne. The pitch to Milbourne. 47 off Rogers is a strikeout. The Expos will lead. They'll take a lead eventually in the 9th inning of the deciding moments of the American League Divisional Series, with a trip to the league championship on the line. Tommy John. Interesting move here. He's a starter 8. He's pitched very well. But you got Rich Murray and Andre Dawson, who crush lefties, Al Oliver, and then Parrish Carter. And the sands of the hourglass are running out for this great bullpen. I think they're going to go Gossage right here now. It's game 5. Rich Gossage is coming on in the 8th inning for the Yankees. And you do have Righetti as well. So you can go 2 innings for Gossage and then turn it over to Righetti if you want to, if it goes extras. So here's Rich Gossage again, the 77-cent ERA of 1981 and 47 innings. Wants a 3-up and 3-down frame, or at least a scoreless frame here. And he will face Rich Murray. 49 is a strikeout. Andre Dawson. 212 bounces to third. And with 2 outs, it's Al Oliver. 37 flies to right field. We'll go to the 9th of a 3-2. Yet another thriller. Oh my goodness. Game 1. Expos took a 1-run lead into the 9th. Yankees tied it. Expos won in the bottom of the 10th. And we go to the 9th. It's 3-2 again, but this time Steve Rogers is on the mound. No chance of his point of weakness. The most dangerous hitter is the first one, Jim Spencer. And this time they're going to let Rogers pitch to him and let him face the bottom of this lineup. So it seems like this is Rogers' game to lose at this point. Steve Rogers. You've got Sosa and Lyle. They've both given up runs in this series. So that's why Rogers is going to go out there in the 9th inning. All the Expo defense is in. It'll be Spencer, Nettles, and Wilson, 3 straight lefties against Steve Rogers. Here's the pitch to the dangerous Jim Spencer. 1-6 is a sky to center field. That's the first out. He's the most dangerous. It gets easier from here. It'll be Greg Nettles. We haven't looked at him. Let's take a look at the Greg Nettles card of 1979. Did hit 20 homers and is a 1 at third base and probable Gold Glove winner. Beside that, he hit just 253. And is very symmetrical, but he's really nothing special here, other than the fact he's a third baseman with all that power. So Greg Nettles, the tie run. The pitch to Greg Nettles. 68 off of Rogers is a pop to second base, and with 2 outs, it comes down to this. Willie Wilson will step into the box. Willie Wilson, taken away from the Kansas City Royals by the Yankees, offered a ton of money to come to New York and play center field. The Yankees have this they're very fond of center fielders in their history, and they wanted a guy to patrol center field as a 1, something that guys like Mickey Rivers could not do. Or Roy White, or I can't remember who was in center field after Rivers. I don't know. Anyway, Willie Wilson, in 1980, a .326 hitter for the Royals, played in that World Series for the Royals against the Phillies. 705 plate at-bats in 1980. And frankly, he's only okay against right-handed pitching, much better against left-handed pitching. So with 2 outs in the 9th inning, here is the pitch to Willie Wilson. 5-10 off of Rogers' catcher's card, and it's Gary Carter, a 1 catcher. Gotta plug his E rating in, oh my goodness. He's an E3. A 1 E3 catcher. Gary Carter to send the Expos to the League Championship Series. And he does a ground ball C to end the game, and Steve Rogers is getting mobbed on the mound. The first complete game of this divisional round, and the Expos have done it. They've knocked out the big bad New York Yankees 3-2. Coming back down 2-1. They'll play in the League Championship Series, hosting the California Angels. Oh my. Let's do the box here. So the top 2 seeds in the American League, the number 1 Expos and the number 2 Angels, will indeed face off in the League Championship Series. Steve Rogers, 9 hits, 2 runs, and only 1 was earned. Just 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and of course 1 complete game for Steve Rogers. Gossage in the 8th struck out a batter. Tommy John, tough day for him to take a loss. He was outstanding. 6 hits, 3 runs, but 4 of those 6 hits were in the 4th inning. Could not get Cromartie out with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. And that's the story of the day. As all 3 of those runs in the 4th inning was all the Expos needed. Just a walk and 2 strikeouts. The best starting pitching of the entire 5-game series was today. And no, we don't have 1-0 games or 2-1 games in this timeline. It's an offensive era. It's just a lot different than in the Summer League where we had 1-0 games and so forth. But still, a 3-2 victory for the Expos. 1009, 0108, 3629, 1113. And now we'll dig into the box and set the next matchup up for you. Try and project who might be favored in the League Championship Series. So once again, the Yankees. This time, this is the furthest they've gone with this era World Series pedigree Yankee rosters. And they were almost in the League Championship. They still can't get it done, though. They can't get it done what the Red Sox and Orioles have already gotten done, which is win a World Series. Expos, let's start with the Yankees. Yankees season is over. They finish at 21-16. They hit .259 with a .309 ERA. Great pitching. Got to question the .259 batting average when you go out and sign .328 Rader, .326 Wilson, .307 Jay Johnstone. You got .307 Piniella, .300 Reggie Jackson, all these great hitters. and you end up hitting 259. A lot of that has to do with facing Baltimore and facing Boston, but you're also facing Toronto, which isn't that great. Pretty much underachieving. One guy who didn't underachieve is Rich Gossage. He had 14 saves in 23 innings, just gave up 4 earned runs. And you certainly can't question Reggie Jackson. He had 11 homer, 28 RBIs in 37 games, led the Yankees with 46 hits. He was 46 for 141, hit 326 with a 300 card. Guidry 6-4, Tommy John lost that game, finishes 4-4. So not a lot out of the 2 top lefties on the Yankees, and that's their denouement. Now the Expos. Oh, they're gone. They're going to keep going here. They are hitting 291. That sounds like a playoff team. A 3.50 ERA, good enough. Rogers got his 6th win. He's 6-2. And what is Steve Rogers' ERA? It's 3.19. So Steve Rogers, Rudy Mays 5-2. Scott Sanderson's 3-0. He actually pitched very well against the Yankees. Sosa has 8 saves. You got Gary Carter with 10 homer and 28 RBI. Yeah, Al Oliver 9-27. We know Larry Parrish is doing well, 6-19. Oliver's leading this club in hitting. He's 49 for 132. 371 for Al Oliver. So this sets up a league championship series. We've played 476 games to this point in the fall league. And the league's hitting 271 with a 4.13 ERA. Those numbers have hung around that all season long, from the beginning to now. No big rise or drop overall. We can plug in the results here, as this is now complete. The Yankees season is over. The Angels have advanced. And it is indeed the Expos who advance. So Rogers pitches that game. There's going to be a day off, so we're going to go right to Bill Gullickson in Game 2. Rudy May in Game 3. He can actually pitch on 4 days rest, and he has that. Then we'll go back to Steve Rogers on 3 days rest in Game 3. And Scott Sanderson in Game 4. Back to Gullickson in a Game 5. We can have Rogers again pitch on 3 days rest, Game 6. And we have our choice, just like the Angels do, of Rudy May or Scott Sanderson in Game 7 of the League Championship Series. So here's your matchups. The Angels are here, and the Expos are here. It'll be Dave Frost, Gullickson in Game 1. Baumgarten, May, battle lefties. Nolan Ryan and Steve Rogers. Mike Witt, Scott Sanderson. So the same. This is a dead even as far as where in the rotation they are. You see it's the 2, the 3, the 1, and the 4. The 2, the 3, the 1, and the 4. And then the 2, 1, and then the extra guy. So they're doing the identical strategy here. Identical strategy, but if you asked to do a comparison, Gullickson, Frost, I'll take Gullickson. May, Baumgarten, I'll take May. Rogers, Ryan, I'll take Rogers. Sanderson, Witt, I'll take Sanderson. So I like Expos. Every pitcher I like. The Angels have like 9 right-handed hitters and only 3 lefties. To me, this looks like in a 7-game series, I hate to be cocky about it, but I like the Expos in 5 in this one. As I think but we've seen what the Angels did against Milwaukee. And Milwaukee was better than the Angels on paper. I like the Expos in 5 in the American League Championship Series. That's it tonight. Break up your Expos. They go to the League Championship Series. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.